Okay, good afternoon, students. This is Gangadhar, your mathematics teacher, and we are discussing about trigonometry and certain pre-requirements to run with the trigonometry. As a part of our syllabus, in the last previous sessions, we discussed about the introduction as the first point, about the angle in second point, and about the system of angles in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, and few things related to the relation that L is equals to R theta in 8 and 9 points. Yeah, the 10th one is about similar triangles, and the 11th point is about the angles ratio versus sides ratio, and the 12th point is just a bit introduction related to the coordinate system. As I told you in previous classes, all these things are the pre-requirements to enter into trigonometry. If you run with the trigonometry with these pre-requirements, then you are much confident about every concept of trigonometry, right? So, see, we are discussing all these things in point wise. So 12 points are completed in the previous classes. I think you have the screenshots related to all these 10 points. And now we are at the 13th point. Look at the heading of that 13th point. See, already we learnt about the coordinate system in our 12th point and about the angle in the second point, right? And now what I am going to do is, we need to represent a terminal ray corresponding to the given angles in coordinate system. Once again I am repeating you. Now I am going to introduce representation of the angles in coordinate system. As I told you, representing an angle is nothing but representing the terminal ray, right? Now look here. See, first of all, you need to know something about the angle once again. Just I am revising for you. See, angle consists of a system of two rays. First, suppose if this is my angle, these are the two rays, and this system of two rays with the initial point is considered as an angle, and the complete scenario about the angle we discussed in the second point, right? And now see in another way, this angle is defined as, we can measure this angle in another way, that the amount of rotation required for this ray to reach the position of that ray. Among these two rays are usually termed as rays of the angle, arms of the angle, legs of the angle, like that we will call usually. And in my context, I am considering this as initial ray and it as the terminal ray. For suppose if you treat this as the terminal ray, the amount of rotation required for the initial ray to reach the position of terminal ray is the angle, right? Yeah, this is the angle. That in the sense, we need two rays to represent the angle. That's what I need to note it, right? I need two rays to represent the angle, right? Now, in coordinate system, we need to represent the terminal rays. See, representing terminal ray of the given angle in coordinate system, that's what we are going to do. See, since we are going to represent the terminal ray, then what is the initial ray? See, we have to consider our x-axis as the initial ray. So, as we know, this is the coordinate system, and this horizontal line is the x-axis, this vertical line is the y-axis, and this is horizon, right? Now I need to represent the terminal rays corresponding to the given angle. For all the representation, you need to consider this positive x-axis as the initial ray. So you need to consider x-axis. That to what? This direction of x-axis. Positive x-axis as initial ray. Treating this positive x-axis as initial ray, we need to rotate this x-axis as per the given angle to represent terminal ray. Initially it may give you certain little bit of confusion, but at the end it is very easy. Look at here. For suppose if this is my terminal ray, what is that my terminal ray? No. What is my initial ray? My initial ray is x-axis. For suppose if I need to represent an angle of 30 degrees. See, look here, this is my terminal ray. To represent an angle of 30 degrees, I need to rotate this x-axis by an angle of 30 degrees, right? So if you rotate this terminal ray by an angle of 30 degrees, maybe then this is the position of the final ray and we call it as the terminal ray. So in this manner we are rotating, right? So you need to indicate arrow like this. So to represent from the x-axis, you need to rotate in anti-clockwise direction, and this is the terminal ray corresponding to an angle of 30 degrees. This is the terminal ray for an angle of 30 degrees. Yeah, initially we need to know about the measurements of the angle. We know it in the system of angles and everything. And now my task is just representation of the terminal ray related to the given angle in coordinate system. This is just a rough representation. If you need an exact representation, again you need to utilize protractor and something. Is it clear? So once again I am repeating. See, for suppose if this is the usual coordinate system what we have in our hands. If this is the coordinate system, this is origin, whereas this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is negative x and this is negative y, and we know everything, right? Now my task is we need to rotate this positive direction of x-axis. This positive direction of x-axis you need to rotate as per your requirement, as per the given angle. Yeah. Now for suppose if you rotate this x-axis by an angle of 90 degrees, see this is the initial ray. If you rotate by an angle of 90 degrees, then it exactly meets the positive direction of y-axis. So if you look, this is the terminal ray for an angle of 90 degrees. So you need to indicate the angle in such a manner. See, the arrow you have to indicate like that, since we are rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. Just have a look this. Likewise, you need to rotate the positive direction of x-axis, treating it as the initial ray, as per the given angle to represent the terminal ray. Give any angle, and surely I will represent its terminal ray in the coordinate system by taking the positive direction of x-axis as the initial ray. And look here, some more angles I am going to represent. For suppose, yeah, if I rotate this positive direction of x-axis by an angle of 180 degrees, then this is the terminal ray. If I rotate this positive direction of x-axis by an angle of 270 degrees, this is the terminal ray. And if I rotate the positive direction of x-axis by an angle of 360 degrees, again the same positive x-axis is the final ray again, because the 360 is the complete angle, right? So to represent the terminal ray, you need to rotate positive direction of x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. So this is the initial ray. For an angle of 90 degrees, this is the terminal ray. For an angle of 180 degrees, this is the terminal ray. For an angle of 270 degrees, this is the terminal ray. For suppose if your angle is 30 degrees, you need to move this x-axis by 30 degrees, and it may be the terminal ray. For 90, 180, 270, or for all these things, these are the exact terminal rays. Whereas for 30, 60, 100 like that, you need to represent roughly, no problem. Okay. For suppose look here. Yeah. Given angle. For suppose if my angle is equals to some 120 degrees. If my angle is 120 degrees, then I need to represent its terminal ray in the coordinate system. So y-axis and the x-axis. We need to treat this positive direction of x-axis as the initial ray, and we need to rotate it by 90 degrees. Look here guys, see this is x-axis, we have to rotate it. Rotate, 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 and if you rotate like this, and this is the position corresponding to 90 degrees. But what we need? We need an angle of 120 degrees. Since this is the position corresponding to 90, you need to rotate some more 30 degrees, because 120 is 90 plus 30, right? So again rotate, 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 rotate. For suppose approximately this is the position corresponding to 120 degrees. This total angle is now, it is 120 degrees, then this is the terminal ray. Yeah, since we are representing everything without using protractors, so these are the positions of the terminal rays approximately. And if you need exact positions, you need to use exact coordinate system. Means a graph paper and exact angle. For that you need to use protractor, right? But just we are trying, we are going to learn the way to represent terminal rays corresponding to given angles in the coordinate system, right? Once again I am repeating you. Yeah, for all this representation, we have to consider this positive x-axis as the initial ray. And if this is the initial ray, For an angle of 90, this is the terminal ray. For an angle of 180, this is the terminal ray. For an angle of 270, this is the terminal ray. For an angle of 360, this is the terminal ray. And for an angle of 120, you need to rotate positive x-axis by 120 degrees. So if this is positive x-axis, if you rotate like this, it becomes 90, and more 30 you need to move, and it is the approximate position what I said to you, right? Likewise, we have a chance to represent different angles in the coordinate system. For suppose, look here, I am going to represent an angle of 500 degrees in the coordinate system. How to represent an angle of 500 degrees? See, as I mentioned you, yeah, see if this is 0 degrees, it becomes 90, then it becomes 180, and it becomes 270, and it becomes 360. That's it, right? But it is more than 360, no? You need to rotate till to reach an angle of 500 degrees. Yeah, this is the positive x-axis. Catch it, start the movement, rotate it. Yeah, rotation. You reach an angle of 90, rotate it, you reach an angle of 180, still rotate it, you reach an angle of 270, still rotate it, you reach an angle of 360, and still rotate it. 360 plus 90 is approximately 450. So we need to get 500, rotate it. This is corresponding to 450, more 50 you need to rotate, and maybe this is the position approximately for an angle of 500 degrees. Since we are rotating in this direction, you need to indicate the arrows in such a manner. Is it clear? I think so. According to the rotation, you have to represent. For suppose if anybody gave you, yeah, represent an angle of 2020 degrees in the coordinate system. How to represent an angle of 2020 degrees in the coordinate system? For that, first of all, you need to count the number of rotations required for this. See, that in the sense, you need to count the number of 360 degrees in this 2020. I know that 360 into 5 is 1800 degrees. 1800 degrees plus more 220 degrees. So 1800 degrees plus 220 degrees is nothing but 2020 degrees. Is it right? Absolutely right. So now you need to rotate. How many times you need to rotate? 5 times. See, this is the positive direction of x-axis. Yeah, rotate it. One rotation completed. 360 over. Then another rotation. 720 completed. Another rotation. 360s. 180 completed. Another rotation. 4 360s. 1440 completed. Another rotation. 5 360s. 1800 degrees completed. But we need to represent to 220. Yeah, again I am here itself because 5 rotations completed. Now to represent more 220, I need to run again. See, more 90 and more 180. Right? So we need 220 now. Now I am at 180. So you need to move more 40 degrees. So if you move some more 40 degrees, approximately this is the position of the terminal ray. And since we are moving in this direction, you need to indicate arrow like this. Yeah, see, if you look it is very simple, but you need to understand the mechanism what it is happening there. Okay, you need to rotate as many times as required depending on the angle, and as per that rotation, this is the terminal ray corresponding to the given angle. So this is the terminal ray for an angle of 120, this is the terminal ray for an angle of 500, this is the terminal ray for an angle of 2020, and you have a chance to represent terminal ray for an angle of 1000 degrees. For every angle, you will get a terminal ray as per the rotation of positive direction of x-axis. I think it is very clear for everybody, right? For example, if I gave you an angle of 1 lakh degrees, is there any possibility to represent or not? And sure, there is a possibility to represent, but you need to take more and more rotations, but it maybe takes some more time to represent, right? But we have a chance to represent that. See, you need to identify that one. Every angle has one representation in the coordinate system. Sometimes it may take more rotations. That's it. Okay, have a look and go for a screenshot. Look this on the board. Since we are moving in the anti-clockwise direction, and these are the representations for the angles. For suppose if you rotate the positive direction of x-axis in clockwise direction, what will happen? Is it understand for you? What I am going to tell you is, if you rotate in anti-clockwise direction, we have these representations. We have the terminal representations like this. If your rotation is in clockwise direction, then how to represent angles in coordinate system? See, if the rotation is just, if you just change the rotation, then it is a matter of the positive and the negative sides. Is it clear? Yeah, if you move right side, if it is positive, and if you move left side, it is negative. Is it clear? So the direction change is used mathematically represented by the sign change. That's why if you rotate the positive direction of x-axis in clockwise direction, then corresponding terminal rays will represent negative angles. What I am going to tell you is, look this. See, this is the usual coordinate system, and this is our positive direction of x-axis, right? See, we have two possibilities to rotate this x-axis. Either you may rotate in anti-clockwise direction, or you may rotate in clockwise direction. If you rotate in anti-clockwise direction, then that rotation represents the positive angles. If you rotate in clockwise direction, these rotations represent negative angles. For suppose, if you rotate this positive x-axis in clockwise direction up to this, yeah, we rotated to reach this position, right? So this is the initial ray, and this is the final ray, and the angle corresponding to this final ray is minus 90 degrees. Actually, the angle between these two is 90 only, but the rotation is in clockwise direction. That's why the angle is minus 90 degrees. And for suppose, if you look at this, if this is the positive direction of x-axis, and if you rotate an angle of 20 degrees like this, yeah, you just rotate an angle of 20, then this terminal ray corresponds to an angle of minus 20 degrees. Actually, the angle is 20 degrees here, but since the rotation is in negative direction, clockwise direction, we need to consider that angle as minus 20. And in another case, if you look, for example, yeah, rotate in clockwise direction. See, this is the terminal ray. Catch it. Yeah, try to complete one complete rotation. There ends 360 degrees, and rotate some more, you may say 100 degrees. Yeah, 360 plus 100, for example, if you rotate, then this is the terminal ray corresponds to an angle of minus 460 degrees. Is it clear? One rotation indicates 360 degrees. From there, if I move an angle of 100 degrees, 90 plus 10, then this total angle is 460. Total angle is 460, but since we are rotating in clockwise direction, it represents a negative angle, and that is minus 460. So in this, if you look this, in this pattern, you have a chance to indicate every angle in coordinate system. Either it is positive or it is negative. You have a chance to represent its terminal ray in the coordinate system. Have a look at this. Okay, look here. This is all about our 13th point of the discussion, that representing terminal rays corresponding to the given angles in the coordinate system, right? And for suppose if anybody asks you to represent an angle of 0 degrees in the coordinate system, right? See, our initial ray is this positive x-axis. Since our initial ray is this positive x-axis, we need to rotate this positive x-axis by an angle of 0 degrees. By an angle of 0 degrees means no need to rotate, okay? Still you will there only. Since still you are there, this positive x-axis is itself your terminal ray. Is it clear? I think it is clear. Then there is no matter of the anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction, because we are not moving from there. Since our angle is 0 degrees, no need to move from that positive x-axis. Then this positive x-axis itself acts like a terminal ray for an angle of 0 degrees. Is it clear? Right. And then I will give you one important observation from this total representation, right? See, if you look there, for example, if you have an angle, then surely you will get a terminal ray in the coordinate system. If you have an angle, then this angle will gives us, yeah, a terminal ray in coordinate system, and it is for sure. Okay, take any angle as you wish, and if it is positive, rotate the x-axis in anti-clockwise direction, and if the angle is negative, rotate the x-axis in clockwise direction. As per the measurement, you have to take that much of rotations, and surely there is a chance to represent its terminal ray in the coordinate system for every given angle. So every given angle will give us a terminal ray. But if you have a terminal ray, then that terminal ray gives us many angles. You need to note it. What I am going to conclude is, one angle will give us one terminal ray, but one terminal ray will give us many angles. Is it clear? If you don't know about the number of rotations, then one terminal ray will give us many angles in the coordinate system. For suppose, look this. This is the usual coordinate system, and this is origin, and this is x-axis. Take a line, take a terminal ray. For suppose if this is the terminal ray, and if you say suppose this angle is 100 degrees, this angle is 100 degrees. I am not indicating the rotations, right? This is 100 degrees. Then the angles corresponding to this terminal ray you need to identify. Look once again, this is the origin, this is positive x-axis, and this is negative x-axis, positive y-axis as well as negative y-axis. And now this is the terminal ray, and the angle between the terminal ray and the x-axis is 100 degrees. If it is 100 degrees, then what you say about the angle corresponding to this terminal ray, right? This is a ray and the angle between these degrees is 100. And now some people may mention the angle corresponding to this terminal ray as 100 degrees. If you rotate only once like this, then your angle is 100 degrees. For suppose if you after one complete rotation, if you reach this position, then you may say it as 360 plus 100, 460 degrees. Is there anything wrong? The terminal ray is same, but the measurement is depends on the number of rotation. For suppose one person will run like this for 4 times. One person will run like this for 4 times. After 4 rotations, he stops at this position. After 4 rotations means 4 into 360, and again to stop here he need to move an angle of 100 degrees, and this summation will give us 1440 plus 100, and that is equals to 1540 degrees. See, if you neglect the rotation, then one terminal ray will gives us many angles as per the person. It depends upon the person who is looking at the terminal ray. One person looks like this with a rotation of 100 degrees. Another person looks it with a rotation of 360 plus 100. Another person looks it with a rotation of 4 complete rotations along with more 100 degrees. And you may face some more people who runs in this manner. If a person runs like this, then this is corresponding to an angle of minus 260 degrees, right? Total angle is 360, but this is 100. You need to subtract it. So it represents an angle of 260 if you run in clockwise direction. So at the end, what I am going to tell you is, I have a ray. I don't know the rotation required to reach that position, right? I don't have that rotation actually. See, if you don't have that rotation, then depending on the persons, depending on the one who thinks about the terminal ray, that terminal ray corresponds to many angles. Sometimes it may be 100, sometimes it may be 360 plus 100, sometimes it may be 4 360s plus 100, like that. If you move in clockwise, the same terminal ray corresponds to some minus 260 degrees. If you run one more rotation in this negative direction, in this clockwise direction, then this angle may be, after completion of 1 360, you need to run more 260, then this is minus of 360 plus 260, and you may say it as 5 and 620 degrees also. Is it clear? Look this, the ray is one, but depending on the rotations, depending on the one who thinks about that terminal ray, there are many angles. The angles may be 100, 360, 4 360s plus 100, and minus 620, like that. Look once, at the end what I am going to conclude you is, one angle will give us one terminal ray in the coordinate system, whereas one terminal ray will give us many angles in the coordinate system. Have a look and go for a screenshot. And this is all about your 13th point of that. One angle gives us one terminal ray, whereas one terminal ray will represent many angles depending on the number of rotations, right? So once again I am going to give you one thing. For suppose if this is our coordinate system, this is the positive direction of x-axis, and this positive direction of x-axis again acts like a terminal ray for an angle of 0 degrees. I told you, right? Yeah, if you complete one rotation, again you stop here itself. That means this terminal ray again for 360 degrees also. For suppose if you complete one more rotation, then this terminal ray is also for an angle of 720 degrees. You need to add 360. And if you complete one more rotation, this terminal ray again is a terminal ray for an angle corresponding to 720 plus 360, which is 1080, like that. Every time you need to add 360. So the ray is one, but it acts like a terminal ray for different angles, and all those angles are like that. If you identify the first angle, you need to add 360 for everything, right? And for suppose if this is the positive direction of y-axis, and initially without complete rotation this angle is 90 degrees, so this is the terminal ray corresponds to an angle of 90 degrees. And for suppose if anybody completes one rotation and then they move an angle of 90, then it is 360 plus 90, so this is the terminal ray for an angle of 450 also. And if a person completes two rotations along with more 90 degrees, then it is a terminal ray corresponds to an angle of 720 plus 90, which is 810 degrees, like that. So like that, if you have any one ray, then that ray is corresponding to many angles depending on the number of rotations. That's the discussion of this 13th point, right? I am moving for the next one. And with all these discussions related to the terminal rays, angles and everything, now I am going to define trigonometric ratios. Look at this. How to define trigonometric ratios? Yeah. See, this is the basic, the very standard method of defining the trigonometric ratios. And usually, if anybody knows trigonometry as sin theta is equals to opposite side by hypotenuse, or cos theta is equals to adjacent side by hypotenuse, right? See, that is not the exact definition of that sin theta and cos theta. If you say sin theta is equals to opposite side by hypotenuse, then my question is, whose opposite side and what is the hypotenuse? Then what is your answer? Your answer is the opposite side is for the angle theta, and the hypotenuse is the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. Then my question is, where do you have that angle theta? And surely your answer is that angle theta is in a right angle triangle, like that. See, if you define trigonometric ratios like this, for if angle theta is in right angle triangle, if sin theta is equals to opposite side by hypotenuse. Many of you know it, okay? I think many of you know it, sin theta as opposite by hypotenuse, but it is not the very first definition. See, with different conventions you reach that question, right? But we are going to define now the very fundamental definition of sin theta. If anybody defines that sin theta is equals to opposite side by hypotenuse, then my question is, what is sin 150 degrees or what is sin 1000 degrees? As per your definition, you have to locate theta in the right angle triangle. You have to locate theta in right angle triangle. Then if I ask you what is sin 1000 degrees, you have no chance to locate this 1000 degrees in right angle triangle, no? Since there is no chance to locate 1000 degrees in a right angle triangle, then sin 1000 degrees is also not possible. But this is a wrong convention, because there is a possibility, there is a value for sin 1000 degrees also. Okay, why it happens? This definition, sin theta is opposite side by hypotenuse, is correct only if theta is there in right angle triangle. If theta is not there in right angle triangle, then you need to move with some other definition, right? So now we are going to give you a standard definition which is acceptable for every angle of theta to define the trigonometric ratios. Look here. Yeah, the next thing is what? 14th point is just about definition of trigonometric ratios. Alright, and my first question is, trigonometric ratios are meant for what? Trigonometric ratios are meant for angles. Since trigonometric ratios are meant for angles, you need to give an angle, right? Since trigonometric ratios are meant for angles, first of all you need to take an angle. Give an angle if it is theta, right? And next step what you need to do, if you have an angle theta, you need to locate a terminal ray. What you need to locate? A terminal ray in coordinate system. And after locating the terminal ray, in the coordinate system, next step what you have to do, you need to take a point on the coordinates on terminal ray. You need to take a point on the terminal ray, and after having a point on the terminal ray, okay, locate what you need to say. You need to locate x, y, and OP. If the point is x comma y, you need to locate a point P on the terminal ray. You need to locate x, y, and OP. From there, we can define sin theta as that y by OP. And further, I will move. Right? Once again, I am explaining for you. Right? First of all, you need to define sin theta. The first step is take an angle theta. So I have an angle theta. The first step is completed. If I have an angle theta with me, the next step is drawing its terminal ray. So in the coordinate system, I have a chance to draw a terminal ray corresponding to this angle. And for suppose if this is my terminal ray, this is the terminal ray corresponding to an angle of theta. And now you need to take a point P on the terminal ray. See, just have a look at this. We need to take a point P on the terminal ray. Look this is the terminal ray, is it right? See, concentrate here, okay? Pay your complete attention on the board. This is the terminal ray. How many points are there on this terminal ray? If you look there exist infinite points on this terminal ray. Yeah. For suppose if there are 100 people in our class, everybody has to take one point. They may be different also, right? This is the origin, the initial point. So one person will take this as his point, P1. Second person as this point, P2. And third person, P3. So if there are 100 people or if there are 1000 people, everybody has to take one point on this terminal ray. One enough, okay? So for suppose this is my point P on the terminal ray. You may take some other. Some people may take P1, some people may take P2, some people may move like that and they may at the end like P100 like that. So this is my point. So after having this point, since we are at the coordinate system, by the concepts of coordinate geometry, we have a chance to locate its x coordinate and y coordinate along with the distance from O to P as R. So we need to locate what? We need to locate x coordinate of P, we need to locate y coordinate of P, and we need to locate R value also. What is that R? That R is actually distance between origin to the concept point P. And now after having this x coordinate and y coordinate and R, now look the values x, y and R. See, this is my point, right? And I have x, y and R. You have a point P1, then you have your own x, your own y, your own R. Because your point is somewhat different, right? For suppose your point is this one, then for this point your value is x1, your value is y1 and this is R1. Yeah. And for suppose if you take another person and his values are x2, y2, R2. And for the third person, his values are x3, y3, R3. But with all those values, if I mention you everybody to calculate the ratio y coordinate by R. Everybody, if there are 100 people in the discussion, everybody has different points. That means 100 points are involved in the scene. So for those 100 points, we have 100 different y coordinates, 100 different R values. But if you calculate y coordinate by R, those 1000 values, 100 values all are same. This y coordinate by R value is constant at the end. This constant y coordinate by R value is defined as sin theta. That's we need to accept, okay? This is the basic definition. Every theory starts with a basic assumptions and the definition, right? So we need to start the theory of trigonometry with these basic assumptions and then definitions. And sin theta is the constant ratio between y coordinate divided by the R value for a point P on the terminal ray corresponding to the given angle theta. Is it right? Once again I am repeating you. What is sin theta? Then my answer for that question is, the definition of sin theta is the constant ratio between y coordinate to the R value, where the y coordinate is for a point P on the terminal ray corresponding to the given angle in the coordinate system. right? So if there are 100 people, what I told you, everybody has one x, everybody has one y, and everybody has one r. If you calculate the ratio y by r and it is same for everybody, it happens because of similar triangles, right? So if you consider, if you try to calculate y by r values, all those values are same because there exist similar triangles with everybody, right? If my point is this one, if I join like this, see, this vertical length is y, this horizontal length is x. And for suppose if your triangle is this one like this, yeah, this is the point, you just draw a line this. This is your triangle. And this point is y1, this point is x1, this point is r1. My triangle and your triangle will become similar, that's why the ratios become equal. Okay, and if you look at this, for these triangles, how many ratios are possible? There are three things like x, y and r. How many are possible? X by y is possible, x by r is possible. Okay, and then y by x is possible, y by r is possible. And then r by x is possible, r by y is possible. More than these 6, is there any possibility of making a ratio between x, y and r? No. There are only 6 ratios corresponding to these 3 parameters x, y and r. That's why we have just 6 trigonometric ratios. Among those, sin theta is defined as the y coordinate by r. And similarly we can define cos theta as x coordinate by r and the remaining everything. I will write it on the board and afterwards, right? Just have a look at this. If you have any doubt related to this discussion, you need to raise the hands. Before that, once again I am going to explain for you, right? First, suppose if you want to calculate sin theta, first of all, what is theta? And after having theta, you need to construct a terminal ray in the coordinate system. And after constructing the terminal ray, you need to take a point P on the terminal ray. And after taking the point P on the terminal ray, you need to locate its x coordinate, y coordinate and the distance from origin OP. After locating x, y and P, sin theta is defined as y coordinate by this OP value. Right? Now you may get a doubt. If my point is different from my friend's point, then I may get different values for sin theta. No. See, surely you and your friend will get same ratio. See, y values are different for you and your friend. The distance OP values are also different from you and your friend. But both of you will get same ratio y coordinate by OP, and that y by OP is termed as sin theta. Right? Have a look at this. And look there. After completing all this total theory, having theta, drawing terminal ray, taking a point, locating x, y and OP, then sin theta is y coordinate by r. After with this theory, at the end we have a point P with its x coordinate, y coordinate and r. Okay. See, I have a point P and this point P has x coordinate, this point P has y coordinate and the distance from origin to the P has r. And after having all these things, now I need to define sin theta. See, again I am repeating you. Take any point on the terminal ray. For suppose you have to check with 1000 points. Do an experiment. Taking a graphical sheet, drawing a terminal ray using protractor, locate different points on the terminal ray and identify its x coordinate, y coordinate and OP. No problem. Every time, for every point, you will get a constant ratio. If you divide y coordinate with this r, that constant ratio is termed as sin theta. And if you divide x coordinate with the r, that ratio x coordinate to the r is mentioned as cos theta. And the ratio between y coordinate divided by x coordinate is given as tan theta. And similarly its reciprocals, r value divided by y coordinate, this constant ratio is given as cosecant theta, whereas r divided by x coordinate, its value is defined as secant theta. And the ratio between x coordinate divided by y coordinate is given as cot theta. See, for the three values x coordinate and y coordinate and r, if you try to calculate different ratios, only these 6 are possible. X by y, x by r, only those two. Y by x and y by r, only those two. X by y and x by r, only those two. That means at the end with these three values you have only 6 ratios, and these 6 ratios are termed as trigonometric ratios. That's why we are mentioning these as trigonometric ratios. They are the ratios. Is it clear? Okay, this is the basic definition of the trigonometric ratios. You need to accept these definitions, and with the exception of these definitions, we are going to develop a complete theory related to the trigonometry. And as I told you, trigonometry is an advanced technology, is the next version for the similar triangles. The main intention of trigonometry is to simplify the situations where we use similar triangles. Actually, there are many day-to-day life utilization for the similar triangles, and all those works are get simplified by this trigonometry. Have a look on the board.